Hey, you guys, Trisha Turner here. It's time for another episode of Anything But Average Achieving Success in Life. Coming to you a little bit late, but that's okay. That's the norm in my life. Everyone knows I run just a couple minutes late. So we're here. And I got Jennifer Cuilla with me, and I'm super excited because she is awesome. She's a top producer in real estate, and she's got a good story to tell. So welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the invite.
Heck yeah. So for you guys that don't know what the show's about, it's called Anything But Average Achieving Success in Life. We've had this coming on for about almost 2 years now. And it's basically for people to share their success stories, whether they're in real estate or whatever industry they're in, because I believe everybody has a story to tell and everybody has different levels of success. So what defines your success maybe is different from mine. And so Jennifer has been in real estate for years. She's got a family. She's a mom. She's got a team. She's doing really well. And real estate, if you know the failure rate, it's between 87 and 91%. So clearly she's in that top 9 to 10%, which to get to that level is a challenge. And she's been doing it for years. So I thought it would be great for her to share some of her story and some of her success secrets. Jennifer, tell everybody how long you've been in real estate, what company you're at, and kind of what part of town is your specialty.
Okay, so I got licensed in 2004. Started on the north side. I was living in Kingwood at the time. And I was there for about 5 years. And then when the market kind of took a little bit of a tank, I moved to the south side of town and took a little break, kept my license as far as, the status. I kept it active, but I called putting it on ice for a little while. So I did that for a couple years. And then I went back, got serious about it again in 2015 or something. But really got serious in 2017 is when I really stepped up my game. And I am with Remax Fine Properties in Sugar Land. My team focuses all over Houston, but we have a pretty heavy presence mainly in Fort Bend County and on the southwest side of Houston.
So when you first started in real estate, what company did you start with?
I started with Keller Williams Northeast.
Okay. So being a single agent, did you always focus on being a single agent, or did you ever join a team in that beginning with Keller Williams?
I didn't. I actually started off on my own. I actually went on to make Rookie of the Year my very first year in real estate for that brokerage. And, but I will say now that I have a team, there's always pros and cons to both. And I will say I could have really avoided a lot of rookie mistakes that I made. Oh, yeah. It took me years to learn some things that probably wouldn't have taken me that long had I just had the guidance of a team and a team leader. So I had a great team leader as far as the actual brokerage goes, but it's a little different when you're working on your own. You don't have that daily direct team leader to go to. So.
No. Yeah. And then as a solo agent making Rookie of the Year, especially back then, because back then, remember, there were mega teams didn't really exist. There were some top producers, but not a lot. And there wasn't technology like there is now. So in your early days, when you first started, what were some of your biggest challenges? And what do you think were some of your biggest successes to get you to Rookie of the Year?
So I'm going to start. So biggest challenges, honestly, probably was more or less just learning how to break into the market and learn. One, I came from the apartment industry, so multifamily.
Me too.
Oh, did you? Yeah. I did that. I was very successful with that as well. But I had my daughters, and I realized I wanted a little more balance as far as being able to be a little more flexible as far as my time goes. So. But I laugh at one of the biggest keys to my success when I first started, because it's just not really the case anymore. There wasn't really a high social media presence, if anything, I think in 2004.
No.
I'm trying to remember. I'm like, I remember getting in the car and printing out MLS sheets and taking people around and, yeah. So, but the biggest key to my success was floor time. And I always chose, it's probably going to make some people laugh, but I chose the Monday morning shift because all the internet leads that came into our office came in over the weekend, and the receptionist would give me all of the weekend leads that came in. And I brought her coffee and just and she just gave, I mean, I got some really big opportunities.
I bet.
Time. It's crazy. So that was a huge, and then of course hustling, I mean,
yeah.
Grinding. I think it comes easy at first, and it just absolutely doesn't. It's definitely something you have to be very disciplined and forcing yourself.
So in 2004, there really wasn't even CRMs, or they weren't like they are now. Did you use one then?
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, it was, so I took my lead. So I was with Camden. They had a great training program, and so did Keller Williams at the time too. I don't know about now, but I assume that they probably do. But we had like an index card system where we would like put our lead in, and there was months, and then there were days, and that I just integrated that into real estate at first. I mean, it worked.
So. But it worked. Look, you did Rookie of the Year. And then
still could work.
Yeah, it totally could. And then when the market shifted, you're talking about the mortgage industry crash, right? Yep. And really shifted. That was kind of scary. So you moved all the way from Kingwood to Sugar Land.
Yeah. So I kind of had a family status change, I guess you could say. And my family lived closer. This is where I grew up. So I moved back down to this area, and I was still getting business. But I started referring a lot of it out because it was just, Kingwood was an hour and 15 minutes away. Not that that's a big deal. But at the time there was just kind of a lot going on. And so I just kind of, I took my license inactive, but I kept up with all my licensing requirements, and I didn't let anything lapse. So basically, still kept up with education and everything, but I went back into property management for however long that was, 2009 to, like I said, 2015-ish. So, but then I joined Remax Fine Properties in the Sugar Land area because it was just kind of a very prominent brokerage, and I really wanted that. That was very important to me. So joined them, and then in 2000 and I'm awful with my years. I guess 2017, 2018, I totally upped my game. It was like game on, and I was just a machine for like 2 years.
Yeah. Now, so you went from Kingwood to Sugar Land. So for you guys that are paying attention to y'all, she started as a new agent in Kingwood, made Rookie of the Year. So she knew what she was doing. Then she moves to a totally new area, though she had family and friends there, though she had never done real estate there. And again, took off. What was your difference there? What did you do differently from where you were in Kingwood and then Sugar Land?
So the first year when I decided I was going to really get serious, I mean, I did a lot of things. I mean, it was a total game changer. I got very, very disciplined. I became very regimented. So, I mean, honestly, I worked like 7 days a week, 365 days a year is what it felt like. But it was worth it because all that time invested got me to where I'm at now. But I did open houses every weekend. Saturdays and Sundays, I did open houses.
They work, don't they?
They absolutely work. I used to hate open houses. I despise them, but I never did open houses at the full capacity that open houses are meant to be. I mean, you go out there and if you don't market it, you don't put it in hard enough time. If you don't get out there and you just put out 6 or 8 signs right before because it's 100 degrees and nobody wants to do that, you're going to get what you put into it. And so I would find myself sitting at open houses prior to that for hours and just okay, I just basically wasted part of my Sunday.
Yeah.
But the difference was I started marketing, and at the time I didn't have my own listings really. So I would strategically look for the newer listings that were only a couple turns off the main roads. When possible, those are what I aimed to get. And then I made sure that I got out and I put out, now we put out, it's probably annoying. We probably put out 60 open house signs because they allow us to. So,
love it.
Yeah. And some people think it's, oh, she's overboard, mainly in our industry. Right. But, I don't get that from the public. From the public, I get a lot of the time when I ask them, hey, how'd you hear about me? They're like, oh my gosh, I see your signs everywhere. They don't remember that it was open house per se. It's just more oh, I see your signs everywhere. Yep. Well, that's okay, it's working. So we're not going to fix what's not broken.
Yeah.
So that was a big key to my success. But I also did a lot of educating I learned a lot. I took a lot of the time that I had free time that I could have just been out running errands or doing stuff around my house or doing whatever to really educate myself more on social media and analytics, marketing. And I self-taught myself stuff. So marketing is a huge part of my brand and my branding actually. And I created it all myself. I do a lot of it myself still.
I love that.
Because I have control issues over it and I have a look. But I get probably the most compliments on my marketing. So, but it's come from, and I'm still trying to find ways to make it better. But it was a lot of practicing and consistency too. Because like when I get ready to prepare for our open house, we put marketing out at the beginning of the week, and we do it again. Little inside tip. I mean, we'll do a picture of maybe the exterior of the house, and then or vice versa. And then I find one that is a inside shot of the house. It's still the same house that we're holding open, but it to some people that aren't paying attention, they think you're holding other ones open, which just makes your volume look bigger. And it's not in any way to be deceptive. It's just to also show different pictures and images of the home.
Yeah, it's marketing.
What may, the interior may draw somebody in more than the exterior or whatever. Mm-hmm. So there's a couple reasons behind that. But yeah, and now, I mean, 2 years ago, HOA allows us to do it. I mean, not all markets are the same or subdivisions are the same, but our HOA allows us to do it. I started getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and we would get out and put out our signs at 5:30, 6 o'clock. For a couple of reasons. One, it's hot. Yeah. Two, I hate putting out open house signs. I don't want people seeing me out there. And it's hot. But I put on my cap and we get out there while it's still dark where nobody can see us. And the traffic, there's hardly any traffic out there. So, because I also don't want to be the reason somebody's like stuck behind me at a light or blocked in some way. So it's just longer exposure. Yeah. And so
and so do you do 60 every weekend?
Well, we just upped it. It used to be more like 30-ish. Yeah. And we put out signs for everyone. And so, yeah, the last couple weekends we did a count because we started to pay somebody to pull them. I still run my own signs when I'm here and I'm able to do it. Yeah. And my team does it. We still run our own signs, but we've been keeping count because we have somebody picking them up for us now because Sunday traffic is not fun.
Yeah. Then you get them out. And so is he putting your signs out too?
No, we're still doing that because I have like strategic places I like to put them all out at. So, and I don't mind, I'm an early bird and it's great exercise. Matter of fact, my team will tell you if I'm doing it with them, I have them drive. I want to run them. I want to run and put them in the ground because I need the exercise.
Yeah. It's good to do. Why not?
Yeah.
So when you did open houses to get you launched in 2017, you were still just an individual agent then, weren't you?
Yeah, I was an individual agent. So like I said, I would reach out to other agents. Always did respect though that if it was another agent's listing, I always did make sure to give them credit listed by whoever it was, their team. But it's funny because you still give people credit and people will see that, but not everybody looks past the verbiage a whole lot. A lot of people just look at the visual. So there was a perception, I think, that I looked like I had all these listings, which at the time I really didn't have. And once again, it wasn't to be deceptive anyway, because I gave credit, but a lot of people, social media is a very visual thing.
Oh yeah.
And so a lot of the time, that's why your visual marketing, your virtual marketing you do on social media needs to be very, I think, attractive and eye-catching. Otherwise, it just, I think, gets passed over real quick or blends in with the rest. So
when you started out, when you were doing all of this, then of course you were acquiring listings, I would imagine.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. Matter of fact, it's so funny you mentioned it. I had I just closed on a lot listing actually, that they called me up and they said, I don't know if you'll remember me, but I met you at one of your open houses 2 years ago. And we still see your signs everywhere and yada, yada. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome.
It's so cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. And we're real big about asking like, okay, I want to know, how did you hear about me?
Mm-hmm.
And if you say internet, well, then I want to know, where on the internet did you hear me? I
Yeah.
want to know what's working. So I think that's a important part of it too. So
what was the shift, or when did you feel that you needed to shift to then start building a team? What happened there?
So I had this opportunity. So going back to that time where I was telling you, I spent a lot of my quiet time when I wasn't busy, also doing a lot of research.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty, not, I don't want to say big, but I had a lot of followers, or not followers, whatever, friends.
Yeah.
Trying to use the right word here. Because we all know friends might not follow you.
No.
But I had a lot of friends on Facebook, and I started having somewhat of an Instagram, I guess, following, but and not that I'm big by any stretch on there compared to a lot of people, but LinkedIn, I kept thinking like, how do I get more engagement on LinkedIn? So I did a lot of research, and I steroid boosted, as I call it, my LinkedIn profile page, because they do analytics like Google does. So keywords in your title, your narratives, that sort of thing, it clues in on that. So anyway, so I did a lot of research on that. I pumped it up. And that following weekend, I got a call from an agent out of Arizona who was looking for an agent in Houston to help market these single homes that were owned by this huge company that was using them for rentals. And at first I just thought, oh, he's just probably reaching out to all the realtors trying to market it stuff, right? And turns out, no, he was already doing his own thing for this company in Arizona. And the vice president of that department had asked him, do you have any connections in Houston? And he looked at his LinkedIn profile and saw mine, and we were already connected. And that's how he reached out to me. And so he connected me with this person. And granted, I had momentum with just my, the other part of it, the main part of it, but that was a huge thing. So when we got that opportunity, I went and met with Nimesh, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like huge. They're talking like, a lot of homes. And so he said, you got to get an assistant. And I was like, oh, it scares me.
Yeah.
But I did, and it ended up being a blessing because it was a girl that used to be a manager of ours when I was back doing property management. And she was, and still to this day is, oh my gosh, my saving grace. I mean,
so she's still with you?
Oh yes.
Best
decision I ever made.
Oh, yes.
She's like my, like,
isn't that crazy when you find like the right person to help you? It's like makes your life so much easier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that year I went on to get this Rising Star Award with RE/MAX for Texas. And they had me categorized, of course, as an individual agent, which I was. And she wasn't licensed at the time. She's now, but I attribute that year was definitely because of me and her, not just because of
crazy. Me. Yeah. So then did you then seek out other agents to join, or did you just start getting people requesting to join?
I did. You know what? I was always, I thought, oh, am I capable of doing this? I don't know. No, I will say the agents that reached out to me, they reached out to me because at first I wasn't thinking like, oh, I don't want to be some big team. I just kind of happy doing my thing. And now that I have Leslie, but I decided, you know what? Why not? If I can help them, because people would call me and I'd give them pros and cons, and I just thought they were calling just to ask me, for my outside opinion on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's funny. And then one of my team members I met at a listing appointment for one of her houses. And in the middle of it, she goes, are you by chance like looking to have anybody join your team? And I was like, oh my gosh, I think you'd be perfect.
Yes.
So yeah.
So how many are on your team now?
So now I have 3 people on my team now.
Okay.
So I don't have a huge mega team.
You want one?
And you know what it is? I do and I don't really.
Oh, I know.
We have such a great, like our little family is like genuinely happy. And it makes me so nervous to bring anybody in because, you know, when you get this situation where you're like, you don't want drama, you don't want there to be conflict with people, not that you can control any of that. We don't have that. Genuinely, I can say we honestly don't have that. I mean, we have your natural like, but not, I mean, we all just like genuinely lift each other up and help each other out. And to bring anybody else into that dynamic, I'm nervous it'll stir things up or cause conflict. So it's probably my own mindset that I probably need to get out of, but that's been the primary reason I haven't really pushed to grow it bigger.
Yeah, because that does happen, you know? And then once you get that drama in there, it creates a whole different world, you know?
Yeah. And I think also the element is I always feel like I know that there's so many things that I can improve on. And so, and it's funny because I'm reading a book that says not to wait till you get perfect on anything because there's no such thing. So it's funny that I just thought about that. But I guess I've just been more also like, I feel like I need to get better at being a team leader before I try and grow and guide more people at a time because I don't want to fail anyone in that sense either. So
what do you find is your biggest challenge as a team leader?
Oh, that's a great question.
Structure?
I would say just in general, consistency.
Yeah.
I typically like I can go really gung ho for a while and then I'll become inconsistent about things. And so that's where that whole regimen and discipline comes back in is following like my miracle morning. And
oh yeah,
that's so key. Like when I am killing it, it's because I am up between 4 and 5 every morning doing my miracle morning. If anybody's ever heard of that, but it's a great book. It changed my real estate career.
When did you start doing the miracle morning?
The year that I did that I went game on. Yeah. It's funny because when I start to find myself kind of slacking or having a hard time getting out of bed or I go back to that. And when I get back into it, it is when I start seeing things my whole attitude goes back to this really positive, like, we're going to kill it today. We're going to kill it this
like week. I can do this.
Yeah.
I think your morning, if you own the morning, you own the day. I believe in the morning routine.
100%.
Yep. I've lived that way for years, since 2010, I think. It's like, you have to. You
know?
Do you read every morning?
I do. And once again, when I'm falling off track, it's because I haven't been getting up and doing my reading and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you journal every morning too?
Huh?
Do you journal every morning?
I do. I try. That's something I haven't been very consistent in lately, or I say lately, actually, I just got back into the groove of it because I wasn't doing it where I do really more of a gratitude journal where I just free think. And hey, honestly, sometimes I even write in there, I am grateful for selling such and such. Maybe it's a listing we have. You know, and it works. So,
but you know, I think a lot of people get caught up with what they should be doing. Like they'll look at what other people are doing as far as like routines and disciplines and things, and they get caught up in that. Like, I need to do exactly like that. And when I read the Miracle Morning, I already had a morning routine down that I had for years, and it's what I live by. But when I read that and it talked about writing, I don't know why my mind doesn't settle down very much, like to really get there. I love reading though. And so I do try to write. I don't do it every day just because I don't enjoy it. And sometimes it's hard to get there. And so for me, it's like, I'm not going to make myself do something just because we're supposed to, or because it works for somebody else. If it doesn't work for me, as long as I'm doing what works for me, then I leave the morning like fired up. I'm ready for the day.
Yeah, 100%. Well, and I'm not great about writing like, oh, let me journal about, you know, like a paragraph or whatever. I literally do these just like grateful for the roof over my, you know, or something like I'm grateful for my pretty couch or, you know, I mean, not really, but kind of maybe. No, it's like just free writing. So it's really like one word answers that I just go down this list and I'm like, I'm grateful for, you know, and then sometimes you feel like, oh, these are kind of my standard answers. Somebody told me once, like, don't overthink the order either. Like if you don't put first or you're, you know, whatever, they said, don't think of it like that. Cause then you're not really free thoughts, you know, your free thoughts aren't being written down, but I have to keep a journal by my bed, but it's really more or less because my brain also does that.
Yeah.
And so like I'll wake up in the middle of the night and then I won't be able to go back to sleep because I'm like, oh, I cannot forget to do this and so I just have this book that I keep by my bed and I write. So as I think of things I either need to do, or if I have a great idea,
Yes.
marketing idea or something,
Oh yeah.
I jot it down so that way I can go, okay, it's there. It'll be there tomorrow and you don't have to worry about forgetting about it.
What's your thoughts on affirmations?
Oh, huge, 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 huge. The year that I went on to be Rising Star, I set a goal to go platinum level with Remax. And I don't remember, I think my production was 3 million prior to that. And I went on to close out, I think it was like 12 or 13 million that
Big
year.
number.
Like it was
Big
a huge
number.
jump.
Yep,
I
is.
wrote it on I printed out this paper of a beach because I love anything sun and sand and whatever. But I put I put my gross commissions goal on there because that's how they do your levels. And I put platinum and I looked at it every single morning. I mean, I still had a vision board, but it was on my mirror every morning. So every time I got ready, I saw it. And I had it all written in my to-do book. So
Oh yeah.
it's huge. I think it's majorly, I think it's, a lot of people think it's just like, oh, that's just whatever. There is really some truth behind it. I mean, it's in a lot of the major business books anyways. You know,
It
law of
is.
attraction, the
Yes.
secret.
Speak it into existence, you know?
Yes.
It's like, don't speak that negative crap.
That's right. The
You know
universe.
what?
Yep.
I think it all works like that. When I look at like, and if you study stuff like with real estate, there's a million real estate coaches. There's a million people on YouTube and everywhere telling you how to sell real estate, as much volume as you've sold and that we've sold. It's like, we don't need to learn like new ways to do real estate. I believe once you get to a certain level, it more is like focusing on your mind. And like you said, being a better leader. What do I need to do to help these people get better? It's not a real estate tactic. I believe it's more like mindset. And I believe if you don't study things every day, then you're just letting your brain rot, you know?
I absolutely agree. 100%.
What book are
And
you reading right now?
do what?
What book
Oh,
are
what
you
book am I reading right now? It's actually Girl Wash Your Face.
Oh yeah, I never finished all of it, but I read some. I was like, holy crap, this is a good book.
Yeah, well, when I first got it, which was a couple years ago, actually, I started reading and I was like, I don't know. For some reason, I'm just not like, not that it was bad. I just felt like I wasn't connecting with it really at the time. And so I picked it up a couple weeks ago and I thought, and maybe last week, whatever. But I started reading and I was like, this is actually pretty good. I like because you can flip around. So like today, the chapter I was gonna read, I was like, I'm not gonna read about this. Let's see what else. Oh, I read about it. These people that haven't read this book they're not gonna know what I'm talking about. But all her chapters are it's a lie, and then she follows it with whatever. And this one was I'm gonna marry Matt Damon. And I was like, this is interesting. What's this one about? And so it was very interesting how she talked about setting your visions and your goals on something that you think is almost not attainable or isn't in your mind, you think it's not attainable. Because she said, though she never married Matt Damon, she still went on to meet her husband and achieve some major things that led to her success.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so on board with that.
Totally. So I think it's in your mind. So many people live in fear. I think one of the biggest mistakes of real estate agents, honestly, is the morning routine. They don't have one and they don't have a schedule and they don't live by their schedule. And I know, like you said, discipline, you've said it several times now. Discipline has been one of your major factors of success, your morning routine and just working hard. And I think people get off that. It's like, hello, you have to do the work. It's not going to just come to you.
Right. Well, and then it's funny because, it's people's perception. They really do, especially people that are not in our industry really do have this really misconceived notion that we, just go to lunches and we just make these big fat commissions. And, no, I mean, and even for us too, even when the market was super hot earlier this year, I was going on listing appointments against other agents. And one of the things that we offer is staging. We come in and we help we don't bring in furniture, but we bring in decor and stuff. And I'm at every photo shoot in terms of my listings and everything. I mean, I want to make sure betting lines are straight. Branding and image has become something that's been, and so, I had a client tell me, well, this agent said it's not really necessary right now. And I said, oh, okay. So that's probably the difference between maybe 2 offers and maybe 9. And he was like, oh, so it's just like not being lazy. Don't, it's in the details.
It is. It's doing the extra stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's so incredibly important. But you put in all that work and then you get yourself to a point where once again, you're building a team if you want, which in my mind is leverage, which was the best decision I ever decided to make, because at the time I felt like, well, I don't really have much balance. I mean, I'm working all the time. Yep. I was smashing goals, but I felt like I was smashing goals and not really seeing much of my family. And now I have a team, and what I love, and I think what a lot of my team members love too, is we help each other out, which means you can go on vacation, you can be at your son's baseball tournament, or, their school Christmas party or whatever it is, without feeling like you're doing your clients disjustice by not being there. I mean, we all help each other out. And that's a huge part of why I'm loving the team part too. So
we end like 2021, we're headed into 2022, which is just crazy even sounding. Goals are a big thing. Do y'all do like a team goal, or are y'all doing individual goals? What does that look like?
Yeah, we do. So what I do is and I'm, like I said, I'm trying to get better about lots of things, but this year I really made it a point to start. We meet every week now. That's something I used to not really do. I used to like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. And then I realized it really is a big deal. Yes. And just for the connection, if anything. COVID kind of was a big, player last year, but we meet every week. And then quarterly, we visit where we're at, like where are our goals as a team and individually. So, and at the really the end of the year, I sit down with them individually also and say, what are your goals for next year? And so let's see how that looks. And, like the millionaire agent, where it says, you can figure it out, back it out, figure out your formulas on, okay, you want to make X amount of dollars. This is how many homes you have to close at this average price, which means this is how many open houses you need to do, or whatever it is. So, yeah. Anyways.
So have y'all set a team goal for 2022 yet?
No. And actually, I was just looking at production for this year, because we just ended the third quarter. And so it's funny because my wheels are turning. I'm like, okay, I'm already kind of thinking about, all right. And it's funny that you mentioned it, because a lot of people get to this point in the year and they're kind of like, okay, kind of downshifting, kind of getting towards the end of the year. We get to the holidays where a lot of people take their breaks. And one of the girls on my team, she brought up a great idea, which I think she got from a book or something, but I don't know. I think it's called The Last 90 or something. She's going to correct me later. It talks about treat the last 90 days of the year as if it was the first.
I love that.
Take it out.
Everybody can do that.
Yeah. Yep. So we're like all gung ho now. It's like October 5th and we're pretending like it's January 5th.
Why not? Finish strong.
Yeah, finish strong.
Why take a break?
We don't need to take a break. COVID gave us a big enough break.
It did. It's like, and our market was insane, but now it's like going back into the balanced market. So I always think like, it's not a scarcity mindset, but it's like, here's the deal. It's like at every night, as soon as midnight hits, we are back to zero. So when you have that kind of mentality where it's like, I got to get back up and start this fire back up again, it just, you never rest, you're just always grinding. And that's a visionary. They're never satisfied. They're always building. So their mind just starts back at zero at midnight. And then first thing in the morning, it's like back on. It's almost robotic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what it is. And I think it takes that, because real estate is a hard industry. And especially when you're leading people, I believe in synergy. I believe that people need to be together. I believe that we are better together. And when agents are stuck sometimes at a home alone, their production goes down, they flounder, they are off schedule. Next thing, they're barely working 20 hours a week. And it's like, you have to work in order to get paid, or you're going to get paid like you only work 20 hours a week.
Right. Yep.
You either are committed or you're not.
100.
In
I
or out.
100% agree. And that's why in our industry, it's so easy to do this. You know, you have really great months and then all of a sudden you don't have anything. So you start hustling again. And then now you're bringing in closings again, but you're only focused really on your closings and the current people and not lead generating. And it's finding that balance of lead generation constantly, but also taking care of your clients, but not falling short on lead generation, because that's why you end up doing the highs and lows. So,
and you know, if you, I always tell people here in our office, I'm like, if you, and I learned this years ago, it's like you, first of all, you sit like in a quiet place and you come up with, what does a perfect day look like? And you write it out. What do I want my day to look like? And then what does a perfect week look like? And then what do I want my month to look like? And then what does the perfect year look like? And then you just reverse engineer it. And it's like, if you know the best prospecting times for you are 9 to 11 in the morning, then you just time block that out. And then if you want to go on appointments at 1, 3, and 5, then you put those on your schedule and you fill them. But so many people in our industry are in reactive mode, and they're on social media all day long just playing, and then they're just waiting for something to happen. They're just reacting to it. It's like, if I always tell agents here, if you get to the point when you get to the point where you're doing steadily 3 to 5, 6 million a year, you'll have a steady pipeline. You'll at least be doing 1, maybe 2 closings a month. But after you get past that 6 million mark, and you know it, you have a steady rhythm. I mean, you're not doing that, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you're all right. But but getting to there it's hustling, it's grinding, it's working. It doesn't just happen.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, it's so worth it. If you just commit to yourself that you're just going to do it, set that goal for yourself. It is, at first you're like, well, I don't want to work that much, or I still want this time with such and such. Hey, listen, if you commit to doing it now, you will have that time way after that and then some, because you earned getting there. It's that there's just so much, it's so many people just don't want to put in the time and the hustle up front. And it's like any business. If you want your business to succeed, you got to work a little more than you normally would work. So
you do. It's like, how do you not want to have any money? How do you not want to go? I like want to change the world, you know? Why are you complacent?
Exactly. Well, my motivation too was, oh my gosh, I've got daughters getting ready to go to college, and now I have one in college and a senior, and I'm like,
yeah, the older that they get, the more expensive they get.
Oh my gosh, I know. I know.
Yeah.
I love that quote. I think there's one that says daughters, I'm gonna mess it up. Something about they think you're rich or something. Never mind. It'll come back to me later. I'll text you.
I know exactly what you're talking about. They do. But you know, like with building a business, when like my daughter just started here, last Friday was her first day. And she'll be 19 actually this week. And she has always worked, and she's taken care of Justin, my little special one. But then she came to me a couple of weeks ago and she was like, I think I want to go get a real job, because she's going to college too, but she wanted to get a real job too. And I was like, okay, like, what are you thinking you want to do? And she's like, I don't know. I think I want to work like at a desk, an office job or something. I don't want to be a waitress or anything like that anymore. And I was like, okay, well, I would like to hire you then, because if you're ready for that, I need help. We need help in the office. And she's like, well, what will I do? And I was like, are you kidding? I got all kinds of stuff for you to do. We need help.
Yeah.
And so she started, and she works in the afternoons after school. And it's such a cool thing, because like I told her, I need help and you want a job. So why would I go and hire someone? And why would you go work anywhere else? You need to work with your family.
Yeah.
And that's the coolest thing, Jennifer. It really is.
That's so cool. And you get to see her every day, especially right before they get ready to go off.
Yes. And it's a different environment, because my oldest son works with us too. And so he's with me like all day long here. And so we're laughing. I mean, it's a neat connection. And so she's been at home, of course, without us. And so now that she's in here in the office, the energy's like super cool. I love it. It's so blessed. It is.
That's awesome.
It's like doing the work, it's like if you're regimented and you do the right things in the right order, you'll have that life that you want, that life on purpose. That's what we believe in. We all can do it. Anybody can do it.
Yeah. And all the hard work that we've put in over the years. Last year, during COVID, when, I was just remember sitting there and reflecting on where I was versus where I am now, and thinking just how grateful I am for one, just God aligned me with what I was meant to do from the get-go. I totally give him the credit for that. But just thinking, wow, I never dreamed I'd be able to afford these vacations. And, we went on more vacations last year just because of COVID and everything. And I mean, mainly it was renting some beach houses and stuff. But I just remember thinking this is one of the most, it's just this grateful feeling of thinking, wow, I really did this. Like my girls can see now how like I'm able to take care of them at a level that I never imagined I could. And so all the sacrifice and the couple years of maybe not having that perfect balance, all ended up being worth it for me because, and it doesn't mean I can let up. I can't let up.
No, never.
But now that I've grown to a team, and once again, it is flattering when somebody reaches out to me and says, "Hey, are you looking to have anybody join?" And I'm just for the record, I'm not completely opposed to it. So I don't want anybody taking it that way. If the right match comes along.
Yeah.
But now that we have this team, I get to work. I still get to work really hard, but I also get to have balance. And so.
And you're not doing it by yourself. It's
not at all
numbers,
Mm-hmm.
It's better together. We're better together, period.
Yeah.
And I think,
I miss them when they're not here. Like my assistant's actually, bless her heart, she wasn't feeling good today, and she's never sick. So she's not here today, and it's just different. And then, that we cut up a lot. We're always like laughing and giggling. And when we work together too, we bounce so many ideas off each other. Yep. So I'm always like, hey, this is where we're working today, either the office or my home office.
Yeah.
And when we're all together, it's like powerhouse.
It's awesome. It's the greatest thing. It gives you strength, Let's talk for everyone that's paying attention to about where you're going to be on Friday. So you're on the producers panel. It's Friday.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So that's tomorrow. Yes. So if anybody's interested, there's some actually, it's not even like so much about me. They probably don't want to hear about me, but the panel has, so master class, with Houston Real Producers with Taylor, is going to be at Cadillac Bar. I think that's where he mainly, that's where always at. I spoke on it years ago before they had gone to Cadillac, and apparently it's gotten a lot bigger. So it's great. Good. Yeah, I'm a little nervous now.
Well,
so it's gonna be Monica Foster, Emma Dow, and so as far as on the panel speaking, and Rose, and I'm going blank a little bit on her last name. She's a moderator that's going to be asking us questions.
I think it's Rose Forey.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, Rose. I can't wait to meet you tomorrow. Please forgive me. I can't wait to meet you tomorrow. I promise. But yeah, we're gonna be there tomorrow. I think it's 9:30 to 11:30. Yeah. And
it's a great networking thing too.
Yeah, I'm excited because I can't wait I love Emma Dow. Emma Dow and I always throw ideas off each other too. And but I've not met Monica, and so I'm excited to hear about her story and
it's awesome.
Her keys to her success and all that good stuff. So yeah,
you're gonna love her. You guys, if y'all don't know what Houston Real Producers is, the masterclass, it's a panel, and so Jennifer's going to be up there. You have 3 others up there with you, and they'll be sharing success things, like answering questions, sharing their stories. How did they get to where they are? And they're all in different areas, pretty much, of Houston. So it's a really cool thing. It's free. It's an awesome networking thing, and learning. You got to be learning. You got to stay in learner mode all the time.
Yeah. Yep.
Are you nervous?
And another plug. I have a broker open house.
That's what it was.
So I have a listing out in Needville. It is stunning, you guys. It's called Callista Ranch. It is 50.86 acres.
Wow.
And I have it's got a lake on it, a cantina. It is phenomenal. And not only is it for just residential use, there are ag exemptions available on this property, and it can be also used for commercial. Nice. It's listed right now at $4.9 million. I'm going to have catering there. Shane Light with Type Barbecue is going to be catering. So if you guys are able to come out on Tuesday, the 12th from 11 to 1, please, I would love to meet you if I haven't met you, or just if you can come out and support and take a look at it. Maybe you've got buyers.
Yeah.
Main
Help
goal.
market it. It would make some
Yeah.
good video, you guys. Definitely get out there and do it.
It's stunning. Yeah. You could come out there, do some TikToks. You can come
Yeah.
out and plug it as your own. I don't care. It's 4.9 million. Maybe you can pull some buyers from that too.
So Tuesday, that's next Tuesday, you guys, a week from today, 11 to 1, right?
Yep. And I will have the address and everything. If you need me, you can PM me if you're, I don't know how the best way to get this flyer out to everyone without inviting the regular public, but I'm going to try and send it also out through some private networks on Facebook.
Okay. I love this. For 2022, do you got anything big that you're planning that you haven't announced yet?
I don't think. I don't. I just to keep crushing it. I mean, I know it's funny because I've been hyper focused now on the last 90 that I haven't really thought too far in advance yet, but I got to get my mindset going there. You're right. Because it's
90-day world.
Yeah. My team, one of the girls on my team said I got to get pajamas for this Christmas party. And I went, what? It's like October 4th. She's like, I go, when's this Christmas party? She's like, December 5th. I'm like, okay, well, I guess that isn't 2 months.
Isn't that crazy? That's coming too fast. All of this is really too fast. I think 2022 is going to be an amazing year, though.
I agree.
This year's been weird.
Yeah.
Done with this year, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
Already.
Yes. I think it's going to end good. I think it's going to be
great.
Yeah.
Hey, for anybody that wants to follow up with you, ask questions about this open house or Houston Real Producers, what's the best way for them to find you?
You can, my website is exactly my name. If you spell it correctly, Ciulla, that's probably the fastest way. Or if you guys are connected on Facebook friend, request me or send me a PM either there or through, Instagram is probably, you can send me some DMs that way as well. And
is that listing live already that you were talking about?
Oh yeah, it's live. Okay. It's 19216 FM 442, but I doubt anybody's going to remember that, which is why we gave it the beautiful name Callista.
I love that.
Means beautiful, most beautiful.
Yeah, pictures look amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty stunning. It's phenomenal. It's a beautiful, beautiful property.
So you guys make sure and try to do her broker open. Thank you so much for being here today and for sharing your story and sharing information. I just love watching you and all that you do. I think you're an amazing person.
And likewise, I love watching your stuff too. And I am very grateful and thank you so much for the invite and having me.
Definitely. You guys have an awesome day.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.